Hello, welcome back to the studio. So yesterday I attempted to do some painting, and I don't know if you've ever smelled what rancid acrylic paint smells like, but I started to do an under painting, and when I poured the paint out, it smelled like rancid eggs. It was so bad that I actually had to leave the studio, and I remotely opened the door this morning so that I could air out, and we're finally back to it smelling normal in here. So I didn't get as much done yesterday as I had hoped, and now I'm back to try again. And later this afternoon, I've got my shipper, John. He's gonna come over, and we're gonna be packing up 3 really large paintings, and these paintings are going to go to the Hamilton Hotel. There's an art gallerist who has specified my work to hang in the hotel, both to enhance their aesthetics but also to be for sale. I think she uses the hotel like her gallery, and so there's a huge wall in the bar of the hotel, and they're going to put some of the larger paintings up. I think they're going to do it tomorrow. So this afternoon, John is going to come with his big truck, and he has a bunch of the paintings that he picked up from Miami from the last Contact show. And with those paintings and the paintings he's going to pick up, they're going to do 6 paintings in total. And so tomorrow we will officially be represented in Alpharetta, Georgia. So if you guys are from there, you'll have to go by the Hamilton Hotel and see my artwork and tell me how it looks. I'm probably not going to go to the install because I'm going to be here working. I got some commissions to do, and I've got some art to ship out because you guys have been buying these paintings from my website, and so I thank you for that. And I'll show you now what I was able to get done yesterday. So if you look here, this is the underpainting layer, and this is when you tint the canvas. The way that it has been described to me in the past is this is the color of the light that would be shining onto the painting if it were like a realistic painting. So I will tint it with this acrylic paint, and then I let it dry, and then I come back and I paint with oil paint on top of it. So I'm really using the acrylic paint as more of a gesso. And then what it allows is when you use a contrasting color, it allows the colors to vibrate, so it can make your colors look more intense and captivating, really. So that's why we will use a tinted gesso / acrylic paint in this case. And this is the culprit. This is my, oh man, I can't even get near this area. It smells so bad. This acrylic paint, I've had it for a long time because I don't use much at all. And so over here, I keep all of my oil paints, and I keep a large stockpile. And then this is my gesso cart. This is all the gesso spray paint. I like actually to use gold spray paint underneath some of the paintings. It looks really nice. But these are kind of all the mediums that I can use for the underpainting and staining. And so here, I'll just kind of show you a little bit. So sometimes I will like to use just a standard acrylic paint. And my mistake here was that I let it sit in here too long, and my studio is hot and humid, and so it just causes it to become rancid really fast. There's nothing wrong with this brand of paint or anything. It just happens to be that I don't have an ideal environment for storing paint. These Studio Series I really love because they come in these crazy fluorescent colors, and oh shoot The fluorescent colors underneath the oil paint, they do a lot to help the painting vibrate. And so a lot of times you'll see me use these really bright garish colors that I would never really leave on the surface. Let's see, these, this is a liquid acrylic, and these usually have a little bit more pigment in them, is what I find. And then I will sometimes just use a standard gesso. And as you know, this is the paint material that protects the linen from the acidity in the oil paint. And then sometimes I'll actually use spray paint. And I like these spray paints because they're really fun colors. And then my favorite with a spray paint is to use this gold. I love this stuff. When you do an underpainting of this and then you paint the oil on top and you get little flecks of gold shining through, it's really pretty. So there's that. I'll show you which painting we're going to be packing up today. We have this gigantic one right here. And this painting is called The Garden of Joy. And the fun fact about this painting is that it was the first painting where I discovered how to paint a peony. And so when we think about how work evolves, you know, for a while I was painting in this kind of a rose format, which was a same motion over and over. And after a while you get a little bored and you start to experiment. And so this is the first transformation where I thought, what if I did something with a little bit more of an extreme petal? And so we ended up with these really lavish petals. And then I love to add the gold here. And these, as you can see, they're really textural. So this is a very heavily impasto style painting. I like these because they give you a longer, there's a longer brush stroke. And so that's giving me a longer opportunity to affect this color. So when I end up with a really beautiful combination like here, it's not this big. I can really just take the brush and just kind of smear it really a long way. And it allows me to get a more impactful effect. I really like this one. And what's fun too on this painting, you can see the fluorescent background peeking through. So this is oil paint, and then this is the acrylic background where I have tinted the background. But when you set back, you don't necessarily perceive that, but you can feel the energy of it. So that's just something to be aware of whenever you're viewing artwork. It's always, I always am looking to see what was the background color that helped create the energy of this painting. And then I'll show you the painting that I did after this one. I was so excited to do these peonies that I did one of just peonies, and that would be this guy. And this is one of my favorite paintings from this summer. I love it so much. I think that it has so much energy, so much romance, and it feels like the essence of what painting is really supposed to be, in my opinion, which is a little bit wild, a little bit out of control, and really what studio art is too, where, you know, I couldn't repeat this painting if I wanted to, and that's what makes it beautiful, is it's one of a kind. And so it's really a joy to look at. It's like they're there, but they're not really there. It's a suggestion. And you can see this paint is super thick. painting with that level of thickness, it takes a lot of courage because you only get one shot really to make that brush stroke. And so if we look at this, you can see I lay it down and then I move on. There's not a lot of mussing around afterwards. You get one chance, and then if you go in and try to fix anything, it is not fixable. You just end up making a mess. And so the way that I'm able to maintain a separation in color, so you can see, you know, we got a lighter pink and then we got streaks of color. The way I keep it that way is by not ever touching it again. Every time you touch it, it gets a little more muddy. And so what I'm looking for is a purity of color and contrast that says I did one confident stroke and then I moved on. And that is a very scary way to paint when you're using as much paint as I'm using, because it's costly to make a mistake. So anyways, I'm gonna get to packing up some paintings. Oh wait, we have one more. These dream paintings are gonna go to the hotel, which I was so excited they liked, because these are kind of off the beaten path. I'm excited to see how Elena uses them. All right, that's enough for today, but I'm gonna get to painting and I will see you next time.